results. Joining us to talk about the election and much more are Congressman Mike Quigley, a Democrat representing Illinois' 5th District, including parts of Chicago's North Side and stretches west to parts of Elmhurst. Congressman Krishnamorthi, a Democrat representing Illinois' 8th District, which includes Elgin, Schaumburg, and Addison, and freshman Congresswoman Marie Newman, a Democrat representing Illinois' 3rd District, including parts of Chicago's Southwest Side, Oak Lawn, and Homer Glen. She was sworn in to her first term in office on Sunday. We should mention we invited every Republican member of the Illinois congressional delegation. None accepted our invitation today. But we do thank all of you for joining us. I want to start with you, Congressman Krishnamoorthi. First off, let's hear a part of that phone conversation that the Washington Post obtained between President Trump and Georgia's Secretary of State.
So, look, all I want to do is this. I just want to find 11,780 votes, which is one more than we have, because we won the state.
Congressman Krishnamoorthi, some of your colleagues have called for a second impeachment vote of the president over this extraordinary phone call. Do you believe that's something that will happen?
I don't think so. It does. That phone call does remind me of the Vladimir Zelensky call, where the president is using his power to basically get someone to, in this case, create bogus votes. That being said, I mean, right now, I got to tell you, Paris, my constituents are most worried about the pandemic and COVID, and they are wanting me to direct my attentions and energies with a laser-like focus on fixing this botched vaccine rollout that the Trump administration is conducting, and just to see the end of the Trump administration ASAP.
And that comes in about 15 days. Congresswoman Newman, also, all this happens amid a special runoff election in Georgia today. Tell us what's on the line in those Senate elections.
Well, in some ways, our ability to get as much done as possible for the American people. Look, having both of our Democratic candidates win will be outstanding and give us more momentum. And I have all my fingers and toes and eyelashes crossed, and I'm going to be watching closely tonight. But either way, we are all going to work hard. We are going to come together as a country. It's why President Biden was elected. We will come together and we will get a lot done. We will bring a much stronger relief package to the fore for the American people and get people direct payments that actually are payments that will help, and get small businesses supported, cities, towns, and states. And my colleague Raja said it beautifully that we have got to get this vaccine situation, the ship righted. We've got to get that rolling out faster again so that they are distributed equitably.
And we want to talk about the vaccine distribution a bit later in the show. But as we mentioned at the top, tomorrow is supposed to be what is normally congressional acceptance of the certified state electors in the presidential election, although some Senate and House Republicans are going to challenge some of those certifications. Congressman Quigley, how do you believe this day will go tomorrow?
Look, you're right. This is a ministerial function by the vice president. I'm struck by the difference. Vice President Gore lost by around 530 votes, contested votes in Florida. The Supreme Court cut that count off, yet he administered that process, the ministerial function, without disruption, showing how this should be done. Very few of us have not lost an election and know what it feels like, but it's incumbent upon that person, especially when they're running for president of the United States, to accept that peaceful transfer. Right now, my staff has been told to get here early, don't park outside, use the tunnels. We're talking about the nation's capital, and we're told that our staff aren't safe, in large part because the president is inciting violence. And this could be a 24-hour or longer process to get this done.
And indeed, there are reports that demonstrators are already congregating in the nation's capital. And as you mentioned, all eyes are on Vice President Mike Pence. Here's what he had to say about his role in this certification.
And I want to assure you, I share the concerns of millions of Americans about voting irregularities. And I promise you, come this Wednesday, we'll have our day in Congress. We'll hear the objections. We'll hear the evidence.
And earlier today, President Trump tweeted, quote, "The vice president has the power to reject fraudulently chosen electors." Point of fact, he does not have that power in the Constitution, and there were no fraudulently chosen electors. Congressman Krishnamoorthi, what do you think Vice President Pence will do? Under the law, under most readings of the law, he is obligated to simply read the results of the certifications.
I think that is what he'll end up doing. However, there will be objections. Over 100 of my colleagues in the House, mine and Marie and Mike's colleagues, have already said that they're going to be objecting to upwards of 6 states' electoral college votes. And what they need is a senator to concur in those objections. And it looks like they will, at least one senator will. So we could be here for about 24 hours, wasting time. We all know what the outcome will be, which is that Joe Biden will win. However, our democracy will lose because these members of Congress in both the House and the Senate will effectively be saying, we want to throw out the ballots of millions upon millions of our fellow citizens, which is the ultimate act of disenfranchisement.
And Congressman Quigley, most expect Vice President to carry out his duties, but in the instance he kind of goes off script and goes against the Constitution, what in effect happens then?
Look, I don't expect that to happen, but any other actions other than just opening the envelopes, the actual process of putting them together and counting is done by the clerks. Anything beyond that's unconstitutional. It would be unlawful. And unfortunately, the remedies would have to be, if you take it to its illogical extreme, would have to be, again, a court remedy. Again, I don't see that happening. I see when I heard what he said recently about this, he was basically saying we'll have our day where people can object to this, and they will in both chambers. I don't think that he will do anything beyond what he just talked about, opening these up.
Congresswoman Newman, Congressman Quigley alluded to the fraught situation on the streets in Washington, D.C. The mayor there has called in the National Guard. What do you think will happen in terms of unrest in the nation's capital tomorrow?
Well, it does appear, and we've received the same warnings. My team is concerned, and I've had some clear warnings how to behave tomorrow. So it is extremely unfortunate and, quite frankly, very sad that we are at this point. I do think that there will be unrest, and I do think that there will be some trouble, and I don't think it'll be good trouble. So we are all hoping to remain safe, and we're going to do as the security tells us to.
As we see shots of some buildings being boarded up there, that's a sight we saw in Chicago and many other cities this summer. All right, we'll be joined again later in the program by these members of Congress to discuss COVID-19 relief and the vaccine rollout. Again, we invited every Republican member of the Illinois congressional delegation. None today accepted our invitation, but we do thank members Mike Quigley, Raja Krishnamoorthi, and Marie Newman for joining us. Thank you so much.